to Resistance Chicks. I'm Michelle. This is my sister Leah. We are coming at you. It's April 18th, 2017. It is a Tuesday. We want to bring you to the fact they want to come early. That there are open investigations for terrorist attacks in all 50
You just watched this. There was a shooting today in Fresno, California, where a man went on a shooting spree. He shot 16 shots, 4 different locations, killed 3 people.
Right.
Said he hated white guys, and when the police went to go arrest him, he shouted Allah Akbar. His name was Ali Mohammed, Corey Ali Mohammed.
And he's been taken into custody.
So I wanted to bring this up. This was out today from the Washington Free Beacon. Federal authorities have opened investigations into radical Islamic terrorists in all 50 states, according to the Department of Homeland Security. This is not actually something new,
right?
But leading up to this, it's also a warning that the threat to terrorism in the United States has reached an all-time high, with radicalized individuals in the country plotting to strike each and every single day. The FBI has opened terrorist investigations in all 50 states, according to the Department of Homeland Security, John Kelly, who I'm really excited about. I mean, he's hitting this head on. Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about this. I'm not excited about terror, but I'm excited that we're hitting it head on, right? Can we get an amen?
Amen.
Either from our atheist, right? Who disclosed on Tuesday, that would be today, that there have been at least 37 Islamic
or you could be like Obama and call it ISIL.
Linked plots to attack our country since 2013, a number that shows no signs of diminishing. So if we put all those 37 together and they blew up, let's say they did the whole Boston bombing or the Florida bar
shooting,
club scene. John Kelly, in his first wide-ranging public address on the threat of terrorism in America since taking office, warned that America's borders remain wide open. I have an article, I'll just tell you about it. Right now, there is a 40-mile gap on the Mexican border that an Obama holdover, literally there's a note, you can look it up on a Breitbart article, I don't believe I have it up right now, which...
We can link it in the description.
Nope, I don't have it. Oh, I don't have it up. Sorry. Okay, so, anyways, the border patrol down there, the guy who heads up this particular area,
section,
has said to his border patrol agents, do not cover this area. And the guys on that patrol are like, cartel people are getting through, drugs are getting through, violent criminals are getting through. This is Obama's doing right now, and who knows who's coming through. I mean, you hear stories every day of people from the Middle East coming up through Mexico, like all the time.
So Trump, you need to get on that and get that gap.
Right. We don't know their intentions, Kelly said during an address at George Washington University. We don't know why they're here or why they're coming. We are completely blind to what they're capable of when people are coming here illegally, right? Terrorists also continues to sprout in terrorism, I think, also continues to sprout inside American communities across the country. 36 homegrown terrorist cases in 18 states, he says, in just the past year. We've seen an unprecedented spike in homegrown terrorism. These are the cases we know about. It's obviously notoriously hard to control
or predict.
And I'm just going to actually take you to his little
speech.
Yeah.
Are to secure the nation from the many threats we face from all hazards. But one of the greatest hazards is from transnational criminal organizations. Like terrorists, TCOs inflict unthinkable brutality and irregularly behead their victims. They intimidate, kidnap, and torture those who try to bring law and order. They buy, sell, and exploit desperate people for their own sick purposes. They destroy their own communities and bring great shame on their countries of origin. They're utterly without laws, conscience, or respect for human life. They take the form of drug cartels or international gangs, like MS-13, who share their business dealings and violent practices. The sophisticated networks move anything and everything across our borders, including human beings.
Okay.
But the damage TCOs do in violence and potential terror is only part of the story. It is also that they move vast tonnages of marijuana and hard drugs, cocaine, heroin, counterfeit opiates, fentanyl, and methamphetamine.
That fentanyl will kill
They
you,
move these
man.
vast tonnages across our borders to feed both the recreational and the addictive U.S. drug demand. U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, U.S. Immigration, Customs Enforcement, ICE, and ICE's Homeland Security investigations, and the U.S. Coast Guard all bear witness to the massive quantity of drugs that these organizations
Conspiracy.
traffic
Yeah.
into the United States every day, with devastating consequences. In 2015, which is the most recent data we have, there were over 52,000
You know what? I think it is a conspiracy on this video, particularly with CNN.
deaths from these drugs in the United States caused by these drug overdoses. It's the highest number of drug-related deaths our country has ever seen. It's more
Let's see if we can make it smaller. It's buffering a little easier.
deaths than the peak of the AIDS epidemic in 1995. It's in a single year, we've lost nearly as many Americans to drug overdoses as we lost in the
You're very patient.
Thank
It's
you for
fine.
sticking with this.
entire
This particular
World
article's
War
been
I.
hard to play.
It's almost as many as we lost in 12 years of fighting in Vietnam.
Wow.
And that's just overdose deaths. That number, as high as it is, says nothing about the long-term health damage to our citizens who survive. To say nothing about the human misery and the extremes of crime and violence inherent in the illegal drug enterprise.
So here's the thing, guys. If you have never had someone that you know and love die of an overdose, it's very easy to grow cold and callous and to just categorize that person as, well, they were just a drug addict and so they were a drain on society, and so you know what? It's kind of better off that they're just gone because they were a useless human being. I have heard that over and over and over again, and from somebody who has lost precious friends to drug overdoses, I can tell you without a doubt that that is the most hard-hearted, callous lie that anybody can spew. That is a real person that had a real life, and it wasn't exactly their life choices that led them to that. And if it weren't for the fact that all of these drugs were flooding up here and being spread and being handed out and propagated on purpose to kill American people, then they probably never would have died.
Well, here's the thing. What's even crazier than that is, as I'm reading the Washington Beacon, and the clip that CNN put out seemed to go from terror to Mexican drug cartels, but it skipped all of this. He says, I tell you without exaggeration, they try to carry out this mission, Islamic terror, each and every single day, and no one can tell you how to stop it. The United States, he continues, is under attack from a wide variety of bad actors, including failed states, cyber terrorists, vicious smugglers, and sadistic radicals. They are under attack every single day. The threats are relentless. Those who slip over the border undetected, including criminals and potential radicalized terrorists, pose an unparalleled threat to the country. We don't get to vet them. We don't know their intentions. We don't know they're here. They slip into our country and notice they live among us, and we are completely blind as to what they're capable of. These threats just scrape the surface of danger posed to America by terrorists inside and outside of the country, which is interesting that CNN, as I'm trying to look for these clips, is not playing this part.
Of course it's not, because
This is all bad news, but it gets much worse, he explained. Experts estimate that perhaps 10,000 citizens of Europe have joined the caliphate in Syria and Iraq.
Wow.
Thousands more of our nations in Asia, Africa, and the Western Hemisphere, they have learned how to make IEDs, employ drones to drop ordnance, and acquired experience in the battlefield that by all reports are bringing it back home. These highly trained terrorist fighters are likely to return to their countries of origin and wreak murderous havoc across Europe, Asia, and the United States, which is very interesting that he mentioned Syria. This is the guy that I want Donald Trump to be listening to, bar none, because what he's saying is that radicals or people are going and being trained in Syria,
right,
under the rebels,
right,
under the rebels,
not under Assad,
under the rebels, okay, and then coming back with terrorist ideas. This guy, I knew as soon as I heard him, I knew that I was like, this is our guy, this is our dude, man. You want to know, in some areas we're looking and we're saying, Trump, what are you doing? And he delegates, right? This delegation was spot on, couldn't have done any better.
And that's why things are actually getting done right now.
ICE. This guy and Jeff Sessions are helping our country right now. I mean, if you want to get excited about something, you have stuff to get excited about. Trump's agenda is good. It's great. It's fantastic. Making America great again. These are the guys we want. These are the guys you want to protect your family, and what our government is supposed to do. It's what we are supposed to pay them to do, not for art, you know, famous art made out of popsicle sticks or something like that. He says, many are citizens of countries in our visa waiver program, and they can more easily travel to the United States, which makes us a prime target. So this guy is backing and supporting, probably helping implement, probably bringing up the idea of
the travel ban.
The travel ban is probably his ban. The threat to America has metastasized and decentralized, and the risk is as threatening today as it was that September morning almost 16 years ago. Terror threat is as high as it was at 9/11. We are under attack from terrorists both within and outside our borders. They are without conscience. They operate without rules. They despise the United States because we are a nation of rights, laws, and freedoms. They have a single mission, and that is our destruction. Bam! I love this man. I love this man. I love this man.
So stuff is happening when the right people are allowed to do what they need to do.
You can hear about this. I mean, we just heard the CNN clip, which didn't buffer quite right at all. All right, and all we heard about, no offense, was drugs, which is bad. They're bad. Drugs are bad. Don't do drugs. Don't do them. People are dying. I get it. That's really bad. But you know what? In CNN's eyes, they'd rather you, if they choose from left or less, we're going to cover the story.
Exactly.
We're just going to cover, you know, the heroin cocaine thing. It's been around for years.
You're right.
We don't want this, you know. So every time you guys hear any story from CNN, know that they're trying to cover something up. Okay, they're lying. They lie. They look at you. They're lying. So, anyways. Okay, so I wanted to add this at the very end here. I found a much better video. I found the entire speech. It's actually on the official government site. Go figure. I love our government now. Like
everything gets put out on video. I know, it's so great.
This is so, like, Obama was like, we're out in the open, and everything was super secret.
We're out in the open.
Everything that Trump is doing is out in the open. And what I did find out about John Kelly is that he oversaw Guantanamo Bay.
Kind of a big deal.
And he had like daily, or he talked with the Department of Homeland Security more than the Secretary of Defense.
When you're dealing in Guantanamo Bay, you're dealing with I don't care who you are, what kind of opinion that you have. Unless you have dealt in a place like Guantanamo Bay and you are inside of the minds of these people, you don't really have a foothold to stand on. And that's all I have to say about that.
Right. And so this is an hour and 7 minutes long. So I'm going to link to this.
We're not playing you the whole thing.
This is not buffering for some reason. CNN's was buffering. This plays all the way through. Everything online is a conspiracy. See, I just have to tell you that. But I want you to just hear a few of his words. Here, obviously, it's a better picture, too.
And one that simply does not make the paper. Every day, in a million different ways, DHS employees are making our country more secure. They are standing guard against all the hazards we face as a nation. They're enforcing the laws the Congress has passed because we are lucky enough to live in a nation of laws. We do our jobs so you and your families can live a peaceful life, a safe life in a free country. But make no mistake, we are in fact a nation under attack. We are under attack from criminals who think their greed justifies raping young girls at knife point, dealing poison to our youth, or just killing some of us for fun. We're under attack from people who hate us, hate our freedoms, hate our laws, hate our values, hate the way we simply live our lives. We're under attack from failed states, cyber terrorists, vicious smugglers, and sadistic radicals. We are under attack every single day. The threats against us are relentless. When people think about DHS, they think about how we respond to terrorism, and that's fair. This is our foundation, given our origin story, and critical to what we do. But our jobs are to secure the nation from the many threats we face, from all hazards. But one of the greatest hazards is from transnational criminal organizations. Like terrorists, TCOs inflict unthinkable brutality and regularly behead their victims.
And this is where we picked up.
And that's, yeah, exactly. And so he talks about terror, And then he talks about transnational, basically people coming up from Mexico.
Right.
And then he goes on to completely talk about terror again, which is what we talked about. And I read his speech before. I'm going to link to this. If you're just in your kitchen somewhere, just listen to the whole thing. I mean, this is a powerful guy, a guy we want in office.
Right.
This is awesome.
Okay, now we're going to switch to our other thing. All right, you guys, this wraps up our coverage for this segment right now. This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3, and ring the bell for notifications if you want to keep seeing videos like this, and find us on Facebook and Twitter.
We're winning.
We love you. God loves you.
This is a
and
win.
God bless.
It's a win-win.
It is a win-win.
I was cold all alone. No place for